Ready. Play.
Coco Gauff wins. She is through to the quarterfinal for the second successive year, bringing the dream return for Caroline Wozniacki to an end. A lovely embrace at the net. But Coco Gauff is into her second successive US Open quarterfinal. She punches the air. She waves to the crowd. We will listen to her on-court interview. I will share that with you as well. I will share it with you right now. And I'm really pleased to tell you that I think Owen from Popcorn Tennis, the godfather of talking tennis as well, is going to join us to share his thoughts on this match. I'm just going to email him now. Cool. So, before we hear from Owen, I think we'll probably get to hear from Coco, her thoughts on this particular encounter. Of course, she's now into her, as I say, second US Open in a row in the quarterfinals. What a difference a couple of months makes after her early exit at Wimbledon. Here we go. Here's her on-court interview. As they wait for the crowd to quieten down, Mary Jo Fernandez with the microphone.
Coco, congratulations. That was a tough match for you. You're back in the quarterfinals.
Back in the quarterfinals.
What did you think the turning point was?
What was the turning point?
Definitely that 2-1, getting it to 2-1 was the
definitely getting to 2-1. Hopefully you can hear all this anyway.
I showed that I was still in the match after breaking back, and I started to, go for my shots. I was still being aggressive. I think I made some mistakes in the in the second. But Caroline, she's back, and it's like she's never left. And the level that she's played today is really amazing, and she's been an inspiration for me growing up. I don't know, it's a little bit weird because I grew up watching Caroline. I remember watching her win Australian Open, and when everybody, was.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Owen?
Good. Sorry, it's been a little bit. Things have been pretty crazy for me.
Yeah, don't worry. I know you've been flying around from continent to continent. You're in North America right now, right?
I am in North America, yes.
Cool. I tend to err on the North America side. I'm pretty sure you're in the US rather than Canada. But if I meet random people, I do sort of try to train my brain to just say North America on the off chance they might be from Canada or in Canada or whatever. Listen, what did you make of Coco and that win tonight?
I thought it was great. I mean, so my main takeaway from the match, and I'm kind of still thinking about this, is I never thought she was going to lose, even when she was down a break early in the third set. I just wasn't worried for her at all because I had the sense that she was the better player. And not only really because of her shots, but she just seemed much more poised the whole match. I mean, you saw Wozniacki getting a little frustrated about the lights not being on. And I think that, and it wasn't that Gauff wasn't frustrated, but I think she was able to channel her frustration into her shots. You saw when she was down that break in the third set, Brad Gilbert was like, put more shape on your shots. And immediately she hits she hits two massive backhand winners immediately.
Okay.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. What do you think about this narrative with Brad Gilbert? I mean, it's easy to build. And it's easy to see in a way that he arrives after Wimbledon, and that was a real low for Coco in many ways, for someone who's building towards winning a Grand Slam potentially to go out in the first round to Kenin as she did there. Anyway, he comes along. She's won 2 out of her last 3 tournaments. One week she's having the best week of her career, and then 2 weeks later she's having another best week of her career. What do you think of the influence of Brad, and are we getting carried away with that?
Well, I'm sure he's helped. I mean, and I think his reputation speaks for itself. Like, I think Agassi won, like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 of his 8 majors when he was with Gilbert. But I also think the effect is being exaggerated a little bit. I mean, Coco was still the player. Like, I think everyone watching that match was probably... I mean, Gilbert, like, shouting the same thing from the box after every point was pretty annoying, right? And it wasn't like he was giving some, like, revelatory advice. He was saying, like, the same thing after every point, and Gauff was just doing her thing. And it wasn't really that related. Like I said, he told her to play with more margin, and she hit flatter and went for winners, and it worked. So I think, like, yeah, like, I'm sure he's doing good things with her game. There's no doubt the forehand's improved, but look, if the coach deserves credit, like, the player deserves more credit. I think that's the rule I would go by.
Yeah, definitely in tennis. And what about Coco? Who have you tipped to win the women's tournament, by the way?
I think Sabalenka's going to win.
I have Sabalenka too. Is that draw influenced, or did you pretty much think that beforehand as well?
No, I've been thinking that since the start of the tournament, and before that. I think... So going in, I thought a handful of players had a chance to win. You have Swiatek, Sabalenka, Rybakina, who's now out. And then I think Gilbert and Gauff as well.
Gilbert, you have Gilbert in your sort of potential winners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she hasn't looked great this tournament, but look, she made the final of the last major. She made the final of this tournament last year. And at Wimbledon, she beat Sabalenka and Rybakina back-to-back. So I don't think there's anyone she can't beat, except maybe Swiatek, because that's been a pretty difficult matchup. Yeah, I think Gilbert could take it. I think she will win? No, but I think she's in that first tier.
Okay. And what about Wozniacki today? Her return to the sport, has it exceeded your expectations? And what about her performance tonight?
And she's at a great tournament, right? I mean, she came back from retirement. She retired in early 2020, right?
Quite some time ago. Yeah, exactly. Australian Open, I think, was her last one in 2020.
Yeah, I think her last
Before
match
COVID was, or as COVID was sort of, we sort of maybe just heard of COVID. Oh, there's this mysterious illness that's emerging, and that's when she retired.
It's been a fun 3 years, hasn't it? But yeah,
tennis. It's so funny how arguably tennis was the sport most in the spotlight during this time for obvious reasons regarding Novak, but even just mice in hotels and YouTube videos posted of people in Australia, of all sorts of things. I know football was affected, of course, and other big sports, but for one reason or another, tennis seemed to get propelled to the news quickly there. But yeah, so sorry, Wozniacki.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been 3.5 years since she played. I mean, 4th round of the U.S. Open, that's amazing. I think today she just lost to a better player. And I think she's, I mean, she's not, is she as good as she was when she was number 1 in the world? No. But I think most of those ingredients are still there. She's still a phenomenal defender. I mean, you saw some of the gets she makes.
Yeah.
But, the forehand is still not great. The backhand is amazing. Like, it's, same type of player. I think it's, she's naturally a little diminished from what she was at her peak, but I thought she accounted pretty well for herself today. I mean, lost the last 6 games of the match. I'm sure she'll be frustrated about that, but she put herself in a position to win against, the Cincinnati champion and a contender to win this tournament. So I think she is nothing to be upset about.
Before we wrap things up, Owen, I'm going to just take us forward now to the other women's big match for me today, stroke tonight, which is Ostapenko against Swiatek. Where will that be won and lost, do you think?
Oof.
I mean, for me, it's. I mean, of all the players that Swiatek can come up against, Ostapenko is one of those that you could say is still on her, almost on Swiatek's almost on Ostapenko's racket, which is very rare. I mean, of course, we would think about Sabalenka and to some extent Rybakina as well, and perhaps Gilbert, especially on the right surface. But for somebody else that's a little bit lower down the rankings, not far down, but outside the top 10, it's Ostapenko's name that you would just see as being okay. I mean, Swiatek's run, let's remind ourselves, potentially, bit of tennis to be played before, but is Ostapenko, Coco Gauff, Karolina Muchova, Sabalenka.
Doesn't sound fun, does it?
Doesn't, no. I mean, it sounds really tough, even for the world number 1. How much longer, I don't know. And obviously the reigning US Open champion. But yeah, there's a lot of people excited about this match tonight. I just hope it does live up to those expectations.
Yeah, and I think to answer your question, I think this match is going to be won or lost in the big moments, but in terms of like what's Ostapenko going to look like in the big moments, we know Swiatek is going to be pretty steady, and we know that the result of most of the points is going to depend on Ostapenko's accuracy, right? Like unless Swiatek goes out there with some like revolutionary tactic and somehow like bum rushes Ostapenko and takes all her time away, like any match Ostapenko plays is going to be on her racket, right? Because she hits so damn hard. So I think like, but you know, she also has a tendency to be wild. So if she's wild, Swiatek is going to win. If she's exceptionally accurate and Swiatek never really gets going, then Ostapenko has a shot.
Yep. I agree. Lot to look forward to there anyway. Owen, it's been great. It was great just to have you on this for this sort of 5 or 10 minute section afterwards. And I hope that our paths will cross again soon and we can both enjoy the rest of the tournament. Take care, Owen.
Yeah, thanks. Let's do it again soon. It's been too long.
Oh, and just one more thing. I have just shared, and I'll share it one more time on the screen at least, is the fact that there's your Twitter account and the potential you're teasing us with a potential piece on this Coco Gauff match and how, as you said to us as well, how you didn't doubt that she would go on to win this match. And I think I know what you mean. I mean, the early break at the beginning, the early break in the third, she soon rested. The problem with the second set, as we so often see in tennis, she kind of lost it without even, it sort of just happened in the blink of an eye. You know, Wozniacki wins 2 games in a row and it's like, oh, there was no chance to get back. Whereas the previous 2 breaks, the one at the beginning of the match and the one at the beginning of the third match, it was like, okay, it's happened. It's no problem because I'm getting a look in on Wozniacki's serve most of the time anyway. And that's what happened. But she was very decisive, Wozniacki, into that second set, and that's how it panned out. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. We've also had a couple of people in the chat, notably Elena. I know she wrote a piece for you a month or so ago. So,
yes,
there's a popcorn. There's always a popcorn theme somewhere around. And I call you the Godfather, Owen. I don't know if you saw that I clipped our first ever minute I did just over a year ago. And it's just me. I don't know if you saw that short that I clipped and made into a YouTube short.
No, I need to check that out. Is this the first time we talked on the show?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a minute of me going, hello, this is Talking Tennis, at least for now, and here's Owen, basically. Yeah, so I clipped that up as a sort of, because it was just over a year ago. It was 1st of August was the date, and that was our anniversary.
How long I remember that well. Sorry?
Yeah, how long has Popcorn been going for, by the way?
We launched in late 2021, so coming up on 2nd birthday, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, nice. Well, hopefully we'll be crossing paths again soon. And take care. Thanks very much for joining us, Owen.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. So, Owen will return to his popcorn, no doubt. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.